What is up, and welcome back to the Common Sense Core. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we just have a quick hitter for you. I'm Kelvin, he's Nathan, and we want to talk about President Biden. So I'm going to pull up this article that you're probably seeing a lot of different versions of today, depending on what news media you read. So let's take a look at what this article from The Hill says this morning. Nate, you want to take this?
Yeah, so I woke up this morning seeing a bunch of this all over YouTube, all over Facebook feed, all of that, right? People talking about Biden saying he's not sure if he'd run in 2024 if Trump wasn't in the race, right? Now, I think that's quite obvious to most people. The man has clearly lost a step, and I don't want to make fun of him too hard. Get charged with elder abuse, but it's quite obvious to everybody. He's not all there. He's shaking hands with imaginary people. He's there's a stand-up comedian talking about him turning into a Roomba as soon as he's done talking.
Mm-hmm,
He
mm-hmm.
stops, turns, kind of pitters off, right? So, I personally I don't think he would be running if Donald Trump was not running. And and I actually I don't even understand that. I get it. I get what the Democrats are doing, but logically I don't understand that, right? Because Biden is he's not the guy to beat Trump a second time. The 81 million votes or whatever it was, right? Like I have a hard time believing that the majority of those votes were for Biden and not just against Trump.
Yeah,
So I think that's really what we're looking at is who are people going to be willing to vote for as a vote against Trump. I don't think Biden's the guy this second go around. We're struggling. Our economy is in the crapper.
yeah.
Things aren't good right now, and Biden is the one in charge. The time of blaming Trump for things is over. Things still suck. So it's like, all right, we got to kind of hang this on Biden at this point.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know how I feel about political parties, and I feel like this is another example of political parties doing political things, right? Joe Biden is the last guy to beat Trump, right? So it's like, hey, we need to trot him out there because obviously he can already beat Trump. Some of our other candidates, if you will, don't stack up as well against Trump. But look at that key figure right there at the bottom under the Disney thing. Biden is 81 years old, guys. 81 years old. There is some clear and evident cognitive decline. And I don't care what any politician comes out and tells you, right? Because all the politicians will say, hey, I talked to Joe this morning. He's so sharp. He's so witty. He's so good. Guys, he's 81. We can all see it. They keep him relatively locked in a basement and for a good reason, right? Like, he did beat Trump. That is something that he has on his under his belt. It's going to be a close backup. But I do agree with Nathan. I don't know if Biden can get it done twice, not after the last 4 years that we've had. But I think we also want to kind of shift and show you exactly what Joe Biden said, so that we're not leaning on the opinion pieces of
Yeah.
some people that are right. I really trust the Hill mostly out of all of the media outlets that there are that are major. I think Nathan would agree. You have something you want to allude to here?
Yeah. Well, first, you know, I have to touch on the ad for Phoenix Children's. I mean, it's right here looking at us.
Yeah,
we got
yeah.
a cute sick baby. Hey, you know what? I can personally vouch for Phoenix Children's. You guys, if you're looking to donate, Phoenix Children's Hospital is a great place, great foundation. Anyway, yeah. I mean, look at this quote. So one of the things I've been asking a lot lately, because I'm learning a lot since we've started to do this podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to learn with you and with our viewers, because I am the first to say I don't know all this stuff, right? I'm figuring it out with all of you.
Yeah.
But one of the big things that I started asking myself when I see these headlines like Biden not sure if he'd run in 2024, Trump wasn't in the race. I started noticing it with Donald Trump, right? Because Donald Trump would say something and then the news media would report, with grandiose headlines. And then you
Yeah.
look at what he actually said and it doesn't quite match up. And so I'm thinking, okay, let's not be biased here, right? You know, I love making fun of progressives and stuff, but let's not be biased. You know, is this the same thing? I think it might be. You know, I expect so, but look, he is running, and I have to run. You know, so
Yeah.
are we taking Biden out of context? Let's cut to. Let me change the tab here. But we're going to go ahead and cut to and watch what he actually says.
All right, let's see.
I expect so, but look, he is running, and I have to run. No, not now. What's the latest on the American hostages?
So okay, so he just got asked about the hostages, but I wanna pause it there real quick. Yeah, so would you still be running if Trump wasn't running? And he says, you know, what do you say? I suppose so, or I expect so, but
Yeah,
look, he is, so I have to run. And
yeah,
then they asked him if Trump dropped out at this point, would you drop out? And he said no. I personally, I don't get where they're getting the headlines. It
yeah.
doesn't seem like he said this.
I mean, he kind of said it, right? But not really, right? So he's getting off of Air Force One. It's obviously pretty late at night, right? Let's not forget, my boy is 81 years old. He's probably tired. He's been working, right? Like hell, I'm 31 and I'm tired after working all day. You know what I'm saying? And you're asking him
Oh
a
yeah.
question that's really it's really it's an irrelevant question. He's running for president. That much is clear. Whether he's running or not, and what's motivating him to run or not, is it really relevant to an incumbent president that has another term available to him? You know what I mean? Like most guys or most people are going to run for that second term. That's pretty much a given. So, you know, again, I think Denzel Washington had a quote about the media and the media landscape of today that I really resonate with. And he's basically saying that in a world where information flows so quickly, it's not a race anymore to be right. It's a race to be first. Right? Yes. So this is part of the reason why we have this channel, right? It's part of the reason why we have this podcast. We're trying to make common sense of things. And I think that in a lot of ways, the media is fueling the lack of common sense that we see in society at large, right? Because depending on which media outlet you watch, they are going to pander to your worldview, right? So if you're a CNN person, you're probably more progressive or liberal. They're gonna cater their news to you. They are going to literally curate the news to fit your worldview. And it's the same thing over on Fox, right? I would encourage all of you to do your own research, read these articles, watch the actual videos, watch the actual interactions, because Nate and I have been victim of this many, many times. I think there was a time,
all the time,
probably
all the time.
This is probably in 2018 or 2019. We're sitting in a car. We're chatting about Bernie Sanders, and we're like, man, this dude is crazy. He's a crazy communist. He's a socialist. And then we both agreed to go watch him in long form, and we both came away saying, man, Bernie's pretty reasonable. I didn't disagree with a lot of what he said. So I think this is another case of them taking some little clip or some little phrase that a president or a politician says and turning it into something that it's not. Joe Biden is running for president. Donald Trump is running for president. And the hope is that they are running for president because they have genuine ideas for the future of this country. And then us, the people, we can decide whether the ideas that these politicians have are worthy of our vote. That's the process. That's how it should work.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I actually I have a quick question, and then we'll bounce out of here. But speaking of him being the incumbent and everything, right? We obviously have the candidate for the Republican Party in Donald Trump, right? But the Republicans are still running, you know, a primary, right? There's still trying to give their people more candidates. Do you think the Democrats are wrong for not doing the same?
100%.
Okay.
I believe
Yeah.
in primaries. I believe in options for the American people. I don't think that the party should be dictating to us who we are allowed to see, who we're allowed to consume in terms of content and ideas. I was really disappointed that the Democrats didn't give RFK Jr. an opportunity. I'm disappointed that Marianne Williamson is not getting an opportunity.
Mhm.
Everybody that's running on that side is not getting an opportunity to address the American people in prime time. Like you see they have Republican debates, you know, they're not even doing that on the Democrat side. And I think that is a disservice to us. It's good for their party, right? It's good for that particular politician, but I couldn't give a shit about that politician or that party on either side. I want to see the
Mhm.
options that are available to me. I want to see them. I want to hear them. I want them to have town halls. I want them to be on television so that I have more opportunity to hear and to understand their platform. If they have effectively robbed us of that on that party in the Democratic side of things, they've robbed us of that. The Republican Party feels more like a technicality, like, hey, we're gonna do it because we have to do it, but Trump's our
Yep.
guy. You know, so I'm you know, I think both are a little, and I understand why Trump's not participating in debates, right? Like if you're already up 40 points, there's no reason to give your opponents opportunities to attack you live,
There's
right?
no reason. Yeah.
And he hasn't looked very good in a lot of the speaking engagements that I've seen. I've seen some struggle from him too, and I think he's got a lot going on in his personal life. I would understand if he was a little bit unhinged. It does seem like that sometimes. But on both sides, you have elderly men, right? That both parties are kind of trying to protect in a way, which I don't agree with, and nor do I like on either side.
No. I think I agree with you. I think the Democrat Party needs to roll out some other options. You know,
Yeah.
it's a little hypocritical for them to run around shouting, you know, the Republican Party or Donald Trump. A vote for them is a vote to destroy democracy.
Yeah, stupid.
But there is a severe lack of options coming out of the DNC. So
yeah, and then they super delegate things all the time, right? They use the super delegate process to get their way, right? Because really, we should have had a President Sanders twice, more than likely. He was popular.
I think he would have won. I don't agree with him on most things, but like I've said before,
yeah,
I think he speaks his truth, and I think at this point that's one of the biggest things we can look for and hope for in a candidate is somebody who believes in what they're saying, at least.
Well, listen, not sure at the you kind of got to see what's going on at any given time. Not sure if he would have gotten my vote. Maybe if I would have gotten to hear him more in long form back then, I would have felt some way or the other. You know, you never know. Hindsight's 20/20, but I think the point is that these parties have far too much power and influence on the process, and that's not constitutional. There's nowhere in the Constitution or our founding documents that says that the RNC or the DNC are the ones that are supposed to have presidential debates. They're the ones that are supposed to do X, Y, and Z. They've kind of assumed those responsibilities over the years, and that's become more of a standard than it is a rule. But we need to, as Americans, we need to get away from this process because I do not like the idea of being dictated to whom I can vote for on either side. So that's 100%. My take on it. That's 100%. My take on it, man. Is that all we got for the good people here at the Common Sense Corps?
That's all we got.
Well, guys, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you taking a look at this video. If you didn't see the ticker, please go ahead and help us grow this movement. Like this video, leave us some comments, and please don't forget to subscribe. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. Everybody's got to be a part of this because it is about us, the American people. Until next time, I'm Kelvin. He's Nathan, and we appreciate you tremendously. All right.
Peace.
Peace.